Words of affirmation is my love language. And as an audiovisual person, all the things I've heard in my life stuck in my head. I find myself very sensitive. So yeah, I really take every word people said to me seriously. Lots of people praised how perfect my life is, that I manage my life well, and think of me being that productive teenager. But sometimes there are just a bunch of, I'm gonna say, prankster who say,
hey, don't be too productive, you will never attach a lover, or no one loves to date a dominant person, and stuff like that.
These words can whether motivate me to have a better character development, but sometimes make me feel like a trash. Yeah, that's how big the impact of people's words is to me. Hey kiddos, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you notice, I had my new fresh haircut and I also have this little company over here, new microphone to reduce the noises. Anyways, as I'm being asked to make a day in my life vlog, I actually have recorded some footage from the time when I woke up, but several things happened and I decided to stop recording. Brutally honest, it was because vlogging is not my thing just yet, but I will work on it. And another thing is because I'm pretty sure that I will let you down because I am not what you think I am. I am not that productive. I do procrastinate a lot, especially because I haven't started my uni life, so I clearly have a very flexible schedule for the past 6 months. Like most of you guys, I have done several things to be productive because I have always thought that being productive is the only thing that makes me feel valuable. Waking up at 5, journaling, meditating, working out, reading, morning walk, and many more you can mention. I found them interesting at first, especially in the early pandemic, and I was driven to be that girl, you know, not to be having a very strict, healthy life, always glamour and aesthetic, basically a perfect person. So that's why it is called that girl. I don't make a fuss about it and I don't want to start an argument. I know that each person has their own lifestyle, but being that girl just doesn't suit me. I do think actually waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning is unrealistic when you don't know the purpose of waking up earlier. So it's currently me editing. I just want to clarify some things that I said previously about why waking up at 4 or 5 in the morning is unrealistic. It's because lots of people believe that the key of being success is, you know, to wake up at the very early morning, while you can literally wake up at any time that you wanted to and still be successful, right? So like, it doesn't have to be waking up earlier to be a productive person. Like, you can wake up at, let's say, 8 a.m. or like 9, 10 a.m. and you can still be a very productive person. So again, it's preference for each person, and it doesn't have to be wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning. Like, if you sleep at 3 a.m., will you still waking up at 4 a.m.? It's just, you know, unrealistic because again, you know what's best for your condition and stuff like that. So like, it doesn't need to be waking up at the very early morning. Many people believe that waking up earlier is a key to success. Well, I understand that the point is that you do something earlier than others. For example, you can still start to do something that is beneficial to you, such as, you know, like reviewing material for the exam that you will have later on, or preparing work for today, and etc. But speaking of work, I do really appreciate those of you guys who only sleep less than 5 hours just to finish the work on time. But the thing is that not everyone can be able to have the same exact routine for a long run. Like, if you commit to waking up earlier, for example, you have to create the goals first. What do you wish to achieve by waking up at 5? So you're not just copying others' lifestyle and ending up burnt out, because that was what exactly happened to me. Years ago, I binge watched lots of YouTube videos, especially about a day in my life, because, you know, it was a very growing concept of videos where you watch someone's routine from dark to dark. Not gonna lie, but watching those videos sometimes inspire me to do several things that I haven't tried before. If you have followed me from years ago on the Instagram, I love to make smoothies a lot. I can literally make tons of different smoothies from just one type of fruit. For almost a year, smoothies have always been the only breakfast that I can tolerate, and guess what? Yeah, influenced by people's routine videos. Even though I admit it's super healthy, but it costs a lot, so I don't make it too often anymore. And also because it took a lot of energy to just prepare it. I remember that I used to cook every morning for myself before school, separately from my parents, because I love to explore what's in the kitchen and, you know, just try to create something out of it. But I don't think it's kind of efficient because it took me almost an hour to just prepare it and clean them up. So I choose a simple breakfast these days instead. To keep myself on track, I also did journaling every day to reflect how and what I felt that day, what things that I could possibly do better, and simply just to track my mood because I'm a very, very, very sensitive person. Journaling has helped me to drain my energy that's still attached to myself before bed. For once, I thought journaling needs to be a very neat and aesthetic notes, with all of those markers, stickers, and any other elements that I don't know. But that's actually just a preference for each person because eventually it's all about you and yourself. On some dark days, my handwriting would be messed up and have lots of rising and falling letters, but sometimes I force myself to patiently write at a slow pace because it could help me to relax. When I was 7, I was taught to write a cursive letter, and it made me so mad because I was never understand the purpose to write cursively, like why do people do that? But then this person said that he has doing it for many years, and lesson learned, he had a changed perception on life, that he could see everything wisely and that he could be more patient to handle something. I love to write in cursive too because it's really fun, it's super fun. But due to time limits and that I have to sleep earlier, for example, I would just end up writing in cursive rushly and it would look like a grass handwriting. So again, the point is that everyone has their own preference to do something. Myself, I prefer to write by typing on my laptop because I love to keep all my fingers active. But every time I type something, my brain falls out like a waterfall, aka tons of words coming out of my mind. I have always been keeping myself on schedule and on track with the Google Calendar. Oh, I don't do to-do list anymore because it's not efficient for me. I prefer to allocate my agendas or lists into some time that I need to finish on. So for example, instead of I will work on A, B, C, D, E today and ended up unfinished because it piled up, I would say, okay, I'm gonna do A at 10 a.m., do B after lunch, and so on and so on. Even though eventually not everything is on schedule, it helps us to remind hey, you have a deadline in an hour. So if you never tried to manage your schedule on Google Calendar, you should give it a try. Someone I found on the internet suggested me to use not to-do lists to prevent us from, procrastinating. But I think it's just not measurable, Like for example, no scrolling social media before going to bed. But doesn't this assumption mean that if you're in bed, you're going to sleep right away? This means that we also have to decide what time we want to sleep. It's like if we decide that we can't have a cell phone before going to bed, for how long, how many minutes, how many hours?
See? Unmeasurable.
So yeah, that style doesn't suit me very well, but again, it's all up to you. But speaking of productivity, what defines productivity anyways? Productive is not the same as being a workaholic, right? What defines you being productive is actually when you have the proportion of work that you want to finish in some time effectively, and you actually enjoy doing it. I enjoy working to create projects or something that level me up. So that's why people think I look productive. I enjoy being busy as in to produce something. It can be a collaborative project that I'm involved in, or like this video for example, writing or simply preparing the upcoming competitions. I cannot just do nothing. So I have to do something every single time. And now I'm gonna tell you something. Words of affirmation is my love language. And as an audiovisual person, all the things I've heard in my life stuck in my head. I find myself very, 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 very sensitive. So yeah, I really take every word people said to me seriously. Lots of people praised how perfect my life is, that I manage my life well and think of me being that productive teenager. But sometimes there are just a bunch of, I'm gonna say prankster who say,
hey, don't be too productive, you will never attach a lover, or no one loves to date a dominant person and stuff like that.
These words can whether motivate me to have a better character development, but sometimes make me feel like a trash. Yeah, that's how big the impact of people's words is to me. I'm really missing a point where people judge someone or have a summary of this person's life too early or too quick. As a normal person being, I admit it's normal to have an assumption of someone else. But there's a border between being judgmental and criticizing someone else. You can't judge someone from one Instagram feed that you saw. Do you get me? If you're wondering, what am I doing with my life? Why am I trying everything in my life? Is because I am still exploring myself. What am I? Who am I? What I want to do for the rest of my life? What's my interest? What I want to do with my knowledge? I want to create an impact on this world. Sounds cliche, I know, but it is what it is. As simple as to inspire my surroundings or my followers, for example. Because I do believe that having a role model is crucial to shape your development. I also have my own role model, but I'm also trying to be a role model because not just that I'm happy to be helpful for someone else, but also to motivate me in having a better character. I think y'all already know what field I'm interested in, none other than about feminism. I can sit and talk about this for hours, but today's video is not about it. But if you want me to discuss it here, I will make one about it in another video in the future. I am fully aware that I have to do something to address this issue and to be involved in eliminating, for example, child and women sexual exploitation. But I'm also aware that I cannot do anything in wide levels, like who am I? Currently, what I can do is to be a volunteer in an organization to sharpen myself and speak up about cases on my Instagram, because that's the only thing that I can do right now. I love enrolling myself in competitions, lately MUNs, because I think it's the best platform for me to speak up about issues that I love to talk about into and to discuss how we can solve this problem with everybody else. Yeah, I hope that answers your questions about me, but do note that I am still questioning my life purpose. Even though I have one big dream I want to achieve for a long run, but I cannot spoil it just yet. Yes, it's a top secret. Despite my productivity, I have lots of dark days as well, where I feel like doing nothing, my energy drains so much even though I did not do anything in that day. I feel like I just want to sleep for a short escape and have those dark thoughts in my mind too. It's not because I'm being alone too much. I love spending time and doing something with myself, but sometimes I'm also fed up with myself.
Do you relate to me? Because I don't relate with myself either. I'm too unpredictable and complicated.
But one thing I know is that it's normal to slow our pace down to find ourselves back and to gather our life again. I don't know if several of you experienced this, but I do relate to you who are in a rush at a very young age, because I did that too. I'm rushing everything that I have to be able to do this and this before I turn 20. And I understand the feeling of being left behind. Like, there's a lot of people in my life who are amazed by what I have done at my young age, while actually I feel like I haven't done anything, I haven't achieved what I wanted. Because compared to my other friends worldwide, they have done great things in their life while I haven't. Okay, I know comparing is not good because I believe each one of us have our own life timeline. But sometimes it's just really disappointing when personally I haven't created an impact that big. You know what I mean? That's why I embraced myself to widen my platform to YouTube to start something. Who knows, it will be my main field in the future. No one knows. And I highly suggest you to start doing something that you have always wanted. Let people talk behind our back. We need no validation to be ourselves. Believe me, even though they put hate comments on you, they will just gonna forget what they did, what they said to you, so you don't have to think about it that much. Putting pressure a bit can build ourselves to become a better person in handling situations. But lesson learned from me, don't make it become your enemy. You will just end up hating yourself, and we don't want that to happen. Don't be afraid to self-prioritize even though it needs to cut toxic people in your life and saying no to things that are beyond your limit. Yes, even though we must push ourselves beyond limit, we must still remember our capacity, and you're the only person, you're the only one that understands yourself. Okay, I have no idea where this conversation is going, but to close this video, I just want to say that we only live once, right? So you, do what makes you happy, you decide where to go and what you want to do with the rest of your life. Wait, something happened. Oh my god, it's an accident! Don't make your future you regrets of the past just because of something that you did not do at your young age. If you want to start your own podcast, do it. If you want to make a business, do it. If you want to create your own clothing line, do it. If you want to start your YouTube channel, do it. Whatever you want to do, just do it and start. While we're young, if we fail, the risk will not impact our life that much, because we will always have more time to try again and finally to accept who we are. Anyways, I think that's all for today. I hope you gained something from this 10 minutes video, and also I will post something on my Instagram tomorrow, and I will ask your assumption about me that I will address them in the next week's video. So make sure and don't forget to leave a comment and make an assumption about me. Okay, I'll sum this video up. Thank you very much for watching until the very last minute. Don't forget to subscribe me for another video and also follow my other platforms. I will link it down on the box description below. See you next week. Bye bye!